Alright, so my current nutrition is really based around my main objective that I'm working on at the moment. So I've had major issues with candida and parasites and all sorts of weird other foreign invaders in my body, to the point of I've seen probably 2,000 different organisms come out of my body. And I know how gross that sounds, but the harsh reality of it is when we get sick, these guys start to multiply, and then we feed them because they feed on the sugar or some of the processed foods that you eat, and then they can get out of control and cause absolute chaos. So when I say that I've seen them, I mean that I have passed them in stools or in enema. I've never seen a live parasite, worm or other organism crawl out of my body, so don't freak out about that. It's unlikely that's going to happen. There are a small percentage of cases that happen in that, but it's not for me. So anyway, back on track, dealing with that sort of stuff. I'm on a diet where I've eliminated all sugar, or at least to the highest degree that I possibly can. I even have very minimal fruit to stay in that sort of region. I have very small amounts of starchy carbohydrates. I've only just implemented those within the last couple of weeks as I've done a little bit more strength training, and I'm really only having sweet potato boiled 3 days a week, and it's only after my exercise am I having that. So based on my energy requirements, that's kind of something that I felt that I needed to do. Not everyone is going to need that, but when I go through my current fitness and stuff, you'll understand a little bit more with that. Because of the fighting with the candida, parasites, that sort of thing, I have recently finished doing a cleanse, trying to purge some of that stuff from my body. In the process of doing that, when you kill these things off, unfortunately what happens is it ends up tearing up your digestive system. So just imagine that these little critters are buried into the wall of your intestines, and as they die, the roots come out and leave holes or gaps or scrapes in there, and now you've got this tissue which needs to be repaired. So my diet again is based on trying to fix a lot of that type of stuff. So complete regeneration of the digestive system, restoring the gut, restoring the microbiome, and just trying to get this digestive system back in top working order. Now I know this is going to take me months. I'll start to feel better within about 2 months, 3 months, a good 6 months down the line, and I'll be feeling a whole lot better, as is my experience in the past. So going through my diet, I have in the last week and a half switched to going all liquids up through till dinner time, just to give my digestive system a whole lot of rest. So I'm having smoothies for breakfast, lunch and afternoon tea. Yesterday was a big day for me physically. I had a lot going on, so I actually had 4 smoothies just to make sure I was getting enough energy in. So my smoothie consists of maybe half a cup of blueberries, sometimes mixed berries, just depending on what I can get, always organic, a quarter of a banana. I know some people with candida don't like banana. I've found that I can get away with a very small amount. Anything more than about half of a banana at a time will cause issues for me, but if I'm just having a quarter of a banana, probably less than 1 whole banana every day, I can get away with that, so that works all right. I have coconut water in my smoothies, as that adds just a little bit of sweetness and a little bit of flavour, and that works really nice. I'm using 2 different types of protein. I've got the organic hemp protein, which is really good. It sits really well with my digestive system. I also use the Sun Warrior Classic Plus. This one can be problematic for me at times. This, I believe, has some chia in it, and chia doesn't always sit well with me. Pea protein, yeah, sometimes it's alright, sometimes not. I've found that over the last few weeks my body's settled into this one a whole lot better, so that's been really good. I also use Well, I'll use one or the other of those. So I'm using, sometimes I'll just use all hemp protein on one day. I might use all pea protein or all the Sun Warrior on another day, or I might have, you know, one or two smoothies with different ones in there. Another thing I use is gelatin, so beef gelatin here. I don't have an organic one, which would be nice, but again, finances come into play, so I do have that mixed in there as well. On top of that, I have some psyllium husk. I'm putting, well, psyllium husk I only put in the very first one in the morning. I have, what is it, the Vital Reds from Gundry. That's my multivitamin that I've been using for the last probably 2 or 3 months. Seems to be quite good for me. I sometimes use almond meal to get a little bit extra fat, because my body, I'm trying to fuel with more fat than I am carbohydrates. As I said earlier, limiting sugar and limiting starch puts a ton of vegetables in my wheelhouse, but I can't always get enough energy from eating 700 serves of vegetables or have the time to be able to get it through my system. What else? I will have generally coconut oil. I'll have a tablespoon of coconut oil with my morning smoothie. Sometimes I will put macadamia oil in there to mix things up. Avocado is one of the regulars I use, so quantity depends on the day and how much energy I am going to have to use. And then other supplements, I've got creatine at the moment. Creatine helps with muscle repair. May not be necessary for a lot of people, but again, the organs are still working like muscles, and my theory is it may be able to help with the repair of that as well. And if not, I'm doing enough physical stuff that giving me a little bit of repair over my actual muscular system as well, with the potential for growth, is a big benefit for me. So that's something that I've been working on. Glutamine is another one that I've been taking, roughly 10 grams a day, sometimes a little bit more, but generally not less than that. So gelatin and glutamine, both really good supplements for healing the digestive system, and that's why they're in place. Now, one thing that I have had in the past and had to cut out was having greens in my smoothies. So I would regularly have spinach or maybe lettuce or kale or something like that. But what I found recently was the spinach would actually cause me to bloat up. Raw spinach has that effect on certain people, so it really is dependent on the individual as to whether it's going to work for you or not. So because I'm not having any of that greens, I actually have the greens powder that I use. I've got this one here called Vita Mineral Green. It seems to be really good. They call it a Truganic, which is some special organic certification, but for me, I just know that I'm getting a whole lot extra nutrients in there, and it's just going to help keep my levels up. Anything to give me energy and keep things working, and yeah, it seems to be doing the job. So that's my smoothie. The morning one is generally chock full of all of that stuff. Lunchtime and afternoon, I'll limit some of the supplements because I don't necessarily need all the quantities of all of those things at every meal throughout the day. When it comes to dinner time, I'm generally, on most nights, having salmon with vegetables for dinner and some fat going on top of that. So the salmon I'm using predominantly is canned salmon. It's not ideal because it's canned, but again, money comes into play. Buying wild caught salmon fresh is absolutely outrageous as far as cost. So that's something that I can't quite get to at the moment. But the canned salmon is convenient, doesn't cost too much money, and the fish digests a whole lot better than your red meats, white meats, that sort of stuff. Now, as far as how I prepare it, generally I will have my salmon made up in a curry, and it's a very, very, very basic raw curry. So generally what I'll do is just get a pot, throw some vegetables in there, I'll throw my salmon in there, and then I'll just pour some herbs and spices over the top and add some coconut cream to it. And the rest of that meal is just vegetables. So I'm generally having grated carrots, that's organic. I'm having sauerkraut and pickles for a little bit of probiotic help, and that seems to be sitting well with me, which is good. In the past, it hasn't necessarily sat so well, so I feel like it's doing the right thing. I will have green beans, again they sit really well. I'm having mixed winter vegetables, which include broccoli, cauliflower, more beans, and which is, again, the broccoli, cauliflower fall into the same category of vegetables as the spinach does. So I can't have too much of that, or I don't feel very good. I can really feel it through here, and the body finds it difficult to break down. But generally a big salmon curry for dinner. I eat out of this mixing bowl, and I know that might sound ridiculous, but I've always had a really big appetite, so with this it would probably be 2/3 full, and I would eat that every night. Roughly 7 serves of vegetables and 200 ml of coconut cream. Sometimes I put some cashews in there as well, just for a bit of flavour and a little bit extra fat, and my body does really well on that. Now, because my digestive system isn't working as well as I would like, I am using digestive enzymes as well, so I missed out on a few days, but I've just been able to pick up a whole lot more. There's 3 different digestive enzymes I'm trying out at the moment. I've used different ones in the past, and I'm just really experimenting right now to see what sits best. But the main thing is getting good quality food in, getting it to digest, because if I can't get it to digest properly, I will not sleep well. I'll get really bad gas, I'll get really bad bloating and cramping through my stomach. I will wake up somewhere between sort of 3 and 4 a.m. and I may or may not get back to sleep after that. So everything is really centered around trying to keep my digestion moving as quickly as possible, or at least as efficiently as possible, and that's where my nutrition lies with that. As far as cheap foods go, they will creep in occasionally. I've been really disciplined since the 1st of April, and we're now coming right towards the end of May. So I've had 2 blocks of organic chocolate in that time, and it's 85% dark green and blacks. I'm not a huge fan of it, but it does give me a mental break from the discipline of all the healthy eating. And it's not that terrible for me. I know that, I know it sits well with me, and it's just something that I don't have too often, but it keeps me under control. The other one that I really like is a nut treat, I guess you would call it. Munch is the brand, and it's the one that I like most is basically cashews and cranberries, and it's dried and like pushed up together, real tight into little chunks. Tastes really good. The hard part is I will often eat the whole bag, which for a lot of people that's going to be way too many calories, but my body really burns through energy, and taking that on works really well. So yeah, probably once a week I'll go and have that, and that's really my treat. As far as eating out, I haven't been eating out lately at all. It just saves me from thinking about food, and I know that when I cook for myself, shop for myself, I'm getting exactly what I need, and that works for me. Now, that works for me mostly because I'm a single guy in a new town. I don't know too many people. I'm not having the invites to go out, so I'm not tempted to go out. All right, so I've really worked my lifestyle into my nutrition so that I can get the most out of it.